Alright, so in this video I'm going to try and explain how to do sig figs. There are 4 rules that you're going to follow, starting with that number 1 there. All non-zero digits are significant, always, always. So this first number, 0.267, there are 3 non-zero numbers, it's going to have 3 sig figs. 3.8 has 2 sig figs. 431 has 3 sig figs, right? So the first rule, always, always, if it's a non-zero number, it counts. It's significant. Rule number 2, the zero final to the right of the decimal is always significant. So in this first number here, 4.30, that 0 is behind a decimal. It's a trailing 0 behind a decimal. It does count as significant because I could write that number as 4.3 and the value doesn't actually change. So if I put that 0 there, there must be a reason for putting that 0 there. So you know if it's behind a decimal, zeros at the end, they always count. So this number has 3 sig figs. The next number, 236.0, has 4 sig figs. That final number there, 0.390, only has 3 sig figs. It's really a preference thing if you want to put a 0 in front of a decimal, but leading zeros are never, ever, ever, ever going to be significant, so just don't worry about them. Rule number 3, zeros between 2 significant digits are always significant. So in this first number here, 5.306, 5 is significant, 6 is significant from rule number 1. They're non-zeros. So everything in between also has to be significant. If a 0 is trapped by other sig figs, it counts. So this first number has 4 sig figs. The next number, 40.92, also has 4 sig figs. That last number, 8.000, also has 4 sig figs. Right, remember this 0 at the end counts because it's behind a decimal. The 8's a non-zero and the other 2 zeros are going to be trapped. So that one does have 4 sig figs. Trailing zeros can count behind a decimal. Leading zeros never matter. So in this last rule, just saying any other zeros are not significant. So this first number, 500, that only has 1 sig fig. I do have trailing zeros, but there's no decimal, so I don't worry about them. 0.046 has 2 sig figs. Those zeros out front don't matter. Only zeros behind and only if there's a decimal. I know that this 0 is behind a decimal, but it's not all the way at the end like rule number 2 says, so it doesn't count. That last number, 30,000, right, only has 1 sig fig. Again, same reason, you got trailing zeros, but there's no decimal, so that they don't matter. All right, so hopefully that helps cover sig figs. We're done with this video.